Good morning and magandang buhay. This is Sir CJ Luna and today we will learn about rational numbers. Based on the learning competency, this video lesson will help you express rational numbers from fraction form to decimal form and vice versa. Specifically, you are expected to define rational numbers, identify rational numbers, and express rational numbers from fraction form to decimal form and vice versa. Before we proceed to the discussion, let's have first an exploration activity. Perform these operations. 3 plus 6 is equal to, okay, you're correct. How about 3 minus 6? Good job. Next is 3 times 6. What's the answer? Okay, nice. And lastly, we have 3 divided by 6. Okay, your answer is right. So when we add 3 and 6, the sum is 9. When we subtract 3 and 6, the answer is negative 3. So when we are adding or subtracting integers, the result is also an integer. And then we multiply 3 times 6, and we got 18. When multiplying integers, the result is also an integer. 3 divided by 6 is equal to 1/2. When dividing integers, is the result always an integer? Is 1/2 an integer? Of course, it's not. Consider this. 2 divided by 10 is equal to 1/5. 3 divided by 12 is equal to 1/4. And 4 divided by 12 is equal to 1/3. In each case, the result is a fraction. So there is a need to learn about a bigger set of numbers known as the set of rational numbers. So what are rational numbers? Any number that can be expressed in the form P over Q are rational numbers. P is an integer and Q is also an integer, wherein Q should not be equal to 0. So P over Q is called a rational number. Let's have examples of rational numbers. We have 1/2, 4/5, negative 3/10, and 77 over 100. These numbers are in the form of fractions. Another example, we have 0.5, 0.8, negative 0.3, and 0.77. These numbers are in the form of decimals, but these examples are all rational numbers. Let us have more illustrative examples. We have number 6. This is a whole number. If we have a whole number, it is understood that we have a denominator of 1. So we can write this into 6 over 1. 6 is our numerator and it is an integer. 1 is the denominator, not equal to 0. Therefore, number 6 is a rational number. All whole numbers are rational numbers. Another, we have 2 over 5. 2 over 5 is equivalent to 0.4. And 0.4 is a terminating decimal. All terminating decimals are rational numbers. 1/3. 1/3 is equivalent to 0.333333. And this is a repeating decimal. All repeating decimals are rational numbers. Next, we have 2.5. 2.5 is a terminating decimal and can be expressed as 2 and 1/2 or 5 over 2. Therefore, 2.5 is also a rational number. Next is 22 over 7. This is not rational because if we will convert this fraction into decimal, we will have 3.14159 and so on. So this is non-terminating. All non-terminating decimals are not rational numbers. Let us now discuss fractions and decimals. A fraction is a numerical representation to show one or more parts of a whole. It can also be regarded as a quotient of two integers. Let's say we have this pie. Alea has 3 slices of pizza pie out of 8 slices. Her part of the pie can be represented as 3 over 8. A decimal is another way to represent fractions, wherein its denominator is a power of 10. For example, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1,000,000, and so on. The point, which is called a decimal point, is used in place of the denominator. In a decimal number, 0 may be used before the decimal point to emphasize that the given is a decimal number. For example, 0.234 is also equal to 0.234. They're just the same. Fractions and decimals are equivalent. Let's say we have 9/10. 9/10 is equal to 9 over 10. And that is also 0.9. So again, fractions and decimals are equivalent. Another example, we have 13 hundredths. When we will write 13 hundredths in fraction, we have 13 over 100. Or in decimal, we have 0.13. Example number 3, 97 thousandths. So ano kaya ang itsura ng 97 thousandths sa fraction? Okay, tama. This is 97 over 1,000. Or in decimal, we have 0.097. How about 22 and 5 10,000ths? How are you going to write this in fraction? Okay, this is 22 and 5 over 10,000. Or if we will have this in decimal, we have 22.0005. Remember that the number of zeros in the denominators of the fraction is also the number of decimal places in the decimal number. Halimbawa, kung ang denominator mo ay 10, ang decimal places sa decimal form mo ay 1. Kapag yan ay 100, 2 decimal places. Kapag yan ay 1 million, correct, 6 decimal places. Let's say we have 9 over 10. Ilan ang 0 ng ating denominator? Isa. So we have 1 0. That means we have 1 decimal place. And that is 0.9. Okay? What if we have 13 over 100? Ilang decimal place kaya to? Very good. Since meron tayong dalawang 0, meron din tayong dalawang decimal places. So we have 0.13. Number 3, 5 over 10,000. So, sa ating denominator, meron tayong 4 na zeros. So, kung 4 yan, we have 4 decimal places. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, we have 0.0005. How to convert fractions to decimals? Converting fractions to decimals is very simple. All we must do is divide. Convert 1/2 to decimal. All we have to do is we will divide 1 by 2. Pero hindi to pwede. Kasi maliit yung 1 sa 2. So, ang gagawin natin dito, mag-a-add tayo ng decimal places. We will put a decimal point and add 0. So, we have now 10 divided by 2. That is equal to 5. Because 5 times 2 is 10. And 10 minus 10 is equal to 0. But 5 is not yet the answer. Kasi we have to put decimal point and 0 dun sa before ng decimal point. Okay, so mas proper na isulat siyang 0.5. So 1/2 is equal to 0.5. Ganun lang kasimpleng mag-convert ng fraction to decimal form. Mag-divide lang tayo. Okay? Let's have another example. Convert 3/4 to decimal. We have 3 divided by 4. Pero hindi pwede. Okay? So, maglalagay tayo ng 0. We now have 30 divided by 4. That is 7. 7 times 4 is equal to 28. And then we will subtract 30 minus 28 is equal to 2. So, meron pa tayong 2. We don't have to stop from here. So, ang gagawin natin, mag-add ulit tayo ng 0. So, this will become 20. 20 divided by 4 is 5. And 5 times 4 is 20. 20 minus 20 is 0. So, tapos na tayo doon. Okay? Now, ang gagawin mo na lang, you put a decimal point sa tapat ng ating decimal point sa 300 and affix 0. So now, 3/4 is equal to 0.75. Next, we will convert 1/3. So we have 1 divided by 3. So we will add 0. 10 divided by 3 is 3. And then 3 times 3 is 9. 10 minus 9 is equal to 1. So meron pa tayong 1, mag-a-add ulit tayo ng 0. 10 divided by 3 is 3. And then 3 times 3 is 9. So 10 minus 9 is equal to 1. So 1 ulit. Okay? So try natin ulit magdagdag ng isa pang 0. Ayan. So we have now 10 divided by 3 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And then the difference is 1. So kapag ganyan, stop ka na. Kasi kung mapapansin mo, umuulit na lang yung 3. Okay? So this is repeating decimal. So ang sagot mo dyan ay 0.333. Or you can also have this one. Maglagay ka na lang ng overbar dun sa ating repeat. Ibig sabihin, ang number na yon ay umuulit na lang siya. Okay? So that is how to convert fraction to decimal. The next concept that we will learn is how to convert decimals to fractions. So kabaligtaran naman ngayon. Given a decimal, i-convert na siya into fraction. Example number 1. How are we going to convert 0.3 to fraction? So ang unang gagawin mo, you put 1 as the denominator of your given. And then multiply it by the powers of 10. Tignan mo yung number of decimal places dun sa given mo. For example, 0.3. We only have 1 decimal place. So we will multiply it by 10 over 10. Kung yan ay dalawang decimal places, 100 ang i-multiply mo. Kung 3, 1,000, and so forth. Okay? So this is now equal to 3/10. And check mo kung pwede pang i-simplify yung fraction. 3/10, pwede ba bang simplify? Hindi na. Okay, so 3/10 is our answer. That is equal to 0.3. Next, we will rewrite 0.29 to fraction form. So we have 0.29 over 1 times ilan? Okay, very good. Times 100 over 100. Kasi meron tayong dalawang decimal places. Okay, so the answer is 29 over 100. Convert 0.75 to fraction. So we have 0.75 over 1 times 100 over 100. Kasi meron tayong dalawang decimal places. Okay? So 0.75 times 100 is equal to 75. 1 times 100 is equal to 100. 75 over 100, pwede pang masimplify ito. Ang GCF nila ay 25. So 75 divided by 25 is 3. And then 100 divided by 25 is 4. So the answer is 3/4. What if our given decimal is repeating? Kamukha nito 0.6. Meron siyang overbar sa taas. Let's say our x is equal to 0.6. At dahil meron tayong isang decimal place lang, we will have 10x. Okay? Kung halimbawa ang ating decimal places ay 2, 100x. Kung 3, 1000x. Okay? So 10x, that is equal to 6.6. Now we will subtract our x. Minus x equals 0.6. We will solve this vertically. 10x minus x is equal to 9x. And then 6.6 minus 0.6, that is equal to 6. Okay? So looking at our equation, 9x equals 6, kailangan sa left side natin, matira na lang ay variable. Kailangan yung x na lang ang matira. So paano matatanggalin yung 9? Magdi-divide tayo both sides by 9. Para yung ating 9 dun sa left side ay makancel. So we now have x equals 6/9. Pero ito ay pwede pang i-simplify. Okay? We will divide this by 3. So we have 2/3. That means 0.6 is equal to 2/3. So, yun. Ganun lang kasimple mag-convert ng fractions to decimal o kaya naman from decimal to fraction. Okay? So, I hope nakatulong tong ating video lesson at sana ay meron kayong napulot na lesson. Okay? At di na kayo mahihirapan kung paano mag-convert ng fraction sa decimal and vice versa. So, thank you very much for listening and watching. And I'll see you again next time. Be good always and God bless us all.